what the big deal about Cracker Jack is. Did you ever go and buy a pack of Cracker Jack thinking you're going to get a prize and find no prize in the box?
You got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me.
Freehand is beating his net at the plate. Crawford is over there watching. Good see, sir. You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on. Oh, I must be in the front row.
Hey, how's everyone doing out there? Welcome to Word Hole Media presentation of Enemy of My Enemy. This is the Red Hot Pete.
It's no longer MVP. Red Hot Pete.
It's Red Hot Pete because my teams are red hot.
I'm Ryan. I'm a Tigers and Cubs fan. Pete is a White Sox and Brewers fan. We are two old friends who hate each other's baseball teams. That makes us Enemy of My Enemy. This is episode 183. We are about 9-10 games into the opening of the 2026 season. We were going to record this last Monday, and it would have been a very different show compared to this Monday. But regardless, the Brewers are still in first place. We're going to start out with them tonight. You started the season against your favorite team. Started the season against each other, Sox and Brewers up in Milwaukee. So I'm sure you've got lots of thoughts about that. You actually went to Sox opening day, the home opener.
Thanks to the rescheduling. Shitty weather played in favor of me this time versus against me. Yeah,
and then you had a major announcement that happened during the game that nobody knew about. It was really fucking cool with Ozzie Guillen getting his number retired. So I want to hear your stories about that. We're going to start a new weekly segment potentially as your Rookie of the Year pick and my Rookie of the Year pick going head to head as two of the most explosive rookies in Major League Baseball. Munetaka Murakami versus Kevin McGonigle.
Insane.
We got to come up with I think we need nicknames for these guys. I know John Schriffen thought there should be a nickname, at least a nickname for Murakami, and that led to some issues. So
that's some straight out of the Wrigley Field bleachers there when what's his name was out there originally.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that and come up with our own better nicknames. That leads into the Tigers, who have had a weird opening to the season at 4-5, but
kind of how I thought it was going to go. But
Justin Verlander was supposed to make his Tigers debut at Comerica Park for the first time since 2017 last night. Alas, he's on the injured list. He went on the injured list like the day before, so it's kind of shocking. We'll get into that. That leads. We've got to talk about ABS as well.
Yeah,
the whole ABS system that wildly popular. I love it. I think you love it. I think all fans love it. The only people I've heard that don't like it are retired umpires.
Maybe current umpires too.
Yeah, probably current umpires.
As I learned a little bit about CB Buckner.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Then we'll finish the show on a weird, sad note with the Cubs, as just an hour before we came on the air today, it was announced Matthew Boyd's going to the IL, in addition to already going to the IL, Cade Horton. So that's 40% of the rotation's already on the IL a week into the season. So that's going to be interesting. Oh, yeah. Nico Horner got a major
extension.
So we'll talk about that too.
Good move on their part.
Yeah, happy for Nico. So that'll be a little bit more uplifting.
Nico!
And really, it's a sign that the Cubs are actually spending money. And I'll tally that up. We need to change some narratives that I've actually perpetuated on this podcast. I think with that, we might as well go ahead and jump into the news.
Well, no surprise to me here. The Brewers are 7-2. They are world beaters. The Cubs are in last place in the division, as I saw it. Well, I didn't see that actually, but they are currently in last place. What I did see is this, and if only people can, for those of you listening on a podcast, I'm looking up, and I'm the Cubs. I'm looking up, and I just see a big bratwurst hanging down at me because they're looking up at the Brewers as usual.
That's some interesting decor in your loft over there.
It is. Well, what do you want?
You got a brat hanging from the ceiling?
I wish I did. I wish I were curing meats like right from the. That would be fucking.
You got room
awesome.
for it up there. Do it.
I do. I should get some sopressata going up here. You ever have sopressata?
Never heard of it.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna get some sopressata for you next time we're together. It's a delicious Italian cured meat.
We'll get into that on Pete's Food Frenzy
Long
podcast.
time White Sox fan and Bridgeport native Joe Zito with his brother-in-law. They make homemade Semprasada every year, and they dry it. They dry it in their bathroom over the bathtub.
All right, different podcast.
It's fucking delicious, though. It's fucking
Food Frenzy
delicious.
podcast, but we'll talk about baseball.
Anyway, well, it kind of ties back to the White Sox, which we're getting into next. Because
oh my God,
it's all Pete. It's all Pete. This isn't all Pete podcast because everything's cupcakes and rainbows over here, baseball wise for me.
Boy.
Thank God we were a week late, because if we weren't, this would be a totally it'd be a totally different podcast. I had predicted a 1-2. I thought the Sox would get one there. That's why I said one team would be 2-1 and one team would be 1-2. The Sox did have an opportunity to take a game, but alas, as Smitty had said, the Sox bullpen is in great shape this year. It did not look very good at all during the Brewer series. Yeah, he was.
I also said your starting pitching sucks, which has proved out to be true so far.
Well, not exactly.
Well, until this weekend,
not exactly. But
we'll get to that.
But we'll get to the Brewers. Let's talk about the Brewers. The Brewers top 3 in OPS, 815. Top 8 in ERA at 3.38. Atlanta. This is crazy. 1.82 ERA so far over 10 games. That's insane. And the Yankees 2.35. Not only do they have an explosive offense, but they have great pitching too. And the Brewers, top 5 in fielding. They are doing everything correct, and they are a team who makes very little mistakes. Where the Sox are a team right now that makes more mistakes. So that was why the series turned into such a lopsided event. Smitty, comically enough, the Sox had a lead in, was it the final game of final game of the series. The Sox had the lead in that one late. And you had already made up the standings. He had made up the standings in like the 7th inning because the Sox had like a 6-run lead.
I think it was later than that. I do every night after the game, at least from our teams are done, I put out the standings graphic, just a simple graphic on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And I had already put together the graphic with the Sox winning the game. I guess it was game 3.
Yeah.
Because I think it was in the 8th or going into the 9th before I made the graphic. And then I checked the scores again like a half hour later and realized the Sox had fucked it up.
Yeah, the collapse happened.
Thanks a lot, Sox.
In the bottom of the 8th, the collapse happened. And I had been we were trading texts, of course, because that's what we do a lot right now. And I was heading home from an afternoon of some day drinking at a local watering hole. And I leave in the 7th, very confident. The Sox are getting their first win of the season. I don't even turn the game back on when we get home because I'm like, And then I get an alert on my phone and watch that the Sox have lost the game 9-7. And I said, I think it was 9-7. I was like, what the fuck happened? And I go on and look, and it was like a complete bullpen collapse in the 8th inning. And very, very disappointed and put me on alert. But I said, it's early in the season. Brewers are a great team. Even though people don't ever consider them, yet they consistently win over and over again. And they just don't make mistakes. They were playing at home. The White Sox, obviously a younger team than even the Brewers, who continually trade away their veteran players and bring up young ones to fill the void. And they do quite competently. So,
it's working
so far, outside of the Sox starting 1-5, with the Brewers starting 7-2, this starts of the baseball season has been it's been incredible so far. I've been able to catch a few Brewers games just because they're showing them on like MLB and stuff like that, and baseball. Luckily, I subscribe to multiple streaming services because baseball spread out over like 6 fucking services right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even.
We talked about that a little bit last
Yeah,
week.
we did. And like, I'm like, where the fuck is this game? And then all of a sudden I'm on like HBO Max or something. And then I'm just like, what? Why is this on HBO Max? And
I was looking for a while last night for the Tigers game because they said it was on Peacock. So I went over to Peacock and it wasn't there.
you couldn't get it on. You couldn't get on the cock last night.
No, and it ended up being on YouTube, on my YouTube TV. I think it was just on NBC there, or MSNBC. I don't even know what it was. I don't even know what channel's there. I just click on the graphic that shows the game that I want, and it takes me to that channel. So it doesn't matter, but it is fucking confusing. It should be the simplest for me because I've got not only the MLB package or the MLB.TV or at bat or whatever it's called set up on my Apple TV, but my Tigers games do come through on that same app now. So basically I just go to that for 95% of the games I need to see until they have this whatever exclusive deal on Sunday nights or Saturday afternoons or Sunday mornings or whatever they've got. So yeah, they're not making it easy on baseball fans, but somehow I've been able to find every game so far.
Yeah, I mean, I'm I did the resubscription to CSN, Chicago Sports Network, so I could watch the Sox. Luckily, a lot of the bugs that really plagued the app last year, like all season, are worked out.
Okay. I was wondering if they fixed all that. Tigers had the same issue last year with Bally Sports or Fox or FanDuel Sports, same bugginess, and I don't notice any of that with at least with the MLB version now.
But anyway, Brewers early test now. They're going to Boston for
Is that a test?
series.
Red Sox suck. I think we both picked them to make the playoffs, and they're like 2-7 now, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they still have a decent enough team that, I mean,
it's early.
Like seriously, we could call the whole show like overreactions to the first 10 games of baseball.
Pretty much every baseball podcast, every baseball radio show, it's overreaction or it's early.
The only thing I'll say is the Cubs are done, but outside of that,
they were losing. They're playing right now. Actually, it's a weird.
They're losing to the Rays.
Yeah, it was 4-2 last I saw, so I have not.
Jamison Talion is getting shelled. He's like one of your saviors.
Who? Talion?
Yeah.
Tyone, you mean?
Tyone, whatever the fuck his name is.
The Italian?
The Italian.
Yeah. That's what I thought you said at first. I think he means Tyone.
Oh yeah, that's how you would say that. 2 L's. Yeah.
I didn't see what this last I saw was 4-2. We're digressing a lot. You've been drinking a margarita. I've been drinking half of a IPA. But are we still talking about the Brewers? Or are we on your White Sox yet?
Well, no. I'm just going to finish up on the Brewers. I think the Brewers are world beaters, and there's 3 teams who have a 7-2 record: the Brewers, the Dodgers, the every expert's pick to win the World Series. Well, maybe not this year, and the Yankees, who we both said on this podcast, and it's looking that way that they are just such a freaking powerhouse that no one in the AL East is going to be able to hang with them. And
we're just a quick Yankees thought, which is too much already, but they're doing this, and Aaron Judge is hitting like 125.
I know, that's what's fucking crazy.
Chisholm hasn't done shit for my fantasy team, so they're only scratching the surface. They've got Carlos Rodon coming back. They've got Cole Hamels coming back eventually, or I'm sorry, Garrett Cole coming back.
Yes. And
so it's kind of scary what the Yankees are doing as they are yet depleted.
Yes. Giancarlo Stanton, though, is having like a career start, but we'll see how that lasts before the injuries set in.
He'll be hurt by the end of the week.
I hope not. He's part of my fantasy team, part of my Yankee 1-2 punch.
Bad move.
Not really. But anyway, so I had an opportunity to see the Brewers play the Tigers on April 23rd. And due to work issues, I will not be able to attend.
Since I signed up early for Detroit Sportsnet to get Tigers games.
That's how you got the tickets?
The Tigers gave me 2 free tickets to basically any game in April. And because those it's not pretty much weekday games in April. And two of the games involved the Brewers, and I thought maybe a Thursday day game in Detroit might work for you if you could get your ass over to Michigan, pick me up, and drive down to Detroit. But it didn't work out with your work schedule. But that could have been a glorious day between the Tigers and Brewers at Comerica Park.
We could have done some live feeds for you folks as we got progressively more intoxicated throughout the ball game, but not going to happen this time. But there'll be plenty of Detroit White Sox games to figure that out.
Yeah,
so,
we haven't put a plan together yet.
We do need to put a plan together because I know Robin wanted to come up and go to a game there. So
cool.
Hopefully a weekend works out, or even like maybe a tail end on a Thursday afternoon or something like that.
Works for me.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. But anyway, let's get back to baseball, like real baseball. And that's enough on
enough of the Brewers.
Enough of the Brewers.
You've got so many more White Sox stories to tell. I don't give a fuck about the Brewers.
I'm in all White Sox gear because, folks, I don't know if you know this or not, the White Sox just beat the World Series runners-up. They just swept them.
American League champions.
They said, hey, you bring your Canadian asses down here and we'll give you an America welcome. And they fucking beat them down for 3 games. They held the starting pitching was solid. The bullpen was solid. Dominguez, nice having like a for sure closer. Grant Taylor, they did the opener twice. He opened the game twice and just fucking dominated the first inning. And I think it's sort of like, this whole opener idea. When you bring someone who's thrown like around 100 miles an hour out, and then you bring the next time that top of the order is coming back through, or the top 6 batters, and they got to face someone where the pitches are completely different, I think it has a very positive effect for the early part of the game. And even, Sean Burke did 6 innings on opening day when I was there. It's an interesting concept that continues to play well for the White Sox.
The theory is you put your best pitcher in to take care of their best hitters in the first inning. Then you bring in your starter, quote unquote, to do bulk innings. But then that starter doesn't have to face the 3 best hitters potentially
3 times,
a third time,
right?
Which is mathematically the death of most pitchers when they have to face the top of the order the third time. So yeah, it kind of pushes. It just sort of rotates things around. This is not new. I mean, Joe Madden was doing this in Tampa 10 years ago. Craig Counsell was actually doing this, I think, in Milwaukee years ago. I don't remember the White Sox doing this before, but yeah, Grant Taylor is the perfect candidate to open for you. I think he was the first White Sox pitcher to have 2 starts in a row, even though it's starts is used
right
liberally now. I don't think it's ever happened before. So I was surprised. I guess I wasn't surprised the first time they did it. I was surprised they did it back-to-back days, but I guess he only had 10 or 12 pitches the first day, so he could handle back-to-back work, but worked out well. It's just more evidence that you have a competent manager that just doesn't do the basics. Will Venable I liked him from day one. It's clear he's a huge step up from what you've had in the past, or in the recent past.
Well, I think the whole the organization as a whole has moved forward to more progressive baseball thinking, like modern baseball thinking, I think is the best way to put it. Something that we were pretty much stuck in the mud on progressing to. You'd hear Han talk about sabermetrics and stuff like that, but you never really saw it applied by our managers, right? How we had a whole segment called La Russa Palooza because this guy did everything from his fucking gut. I mean, even if he
wasn't asleep.
Yeah, when he wasn't asleep. And oddly enough, when you look back at what he did with St. Louis, it wasn't so much from the gut. He was very much into the numbers with St. Louis, right?
He was progressive. I mean, he kind of created the modern bullpen usage.
Yeah, right.
30 years ago, but that was all by the wayside by the time he was with the White Sox.
Yeah, so it's just I expected the White Sox to be much better this year, and I really do think much better this year. I think
I can't figure him out because it looked like it was a disaster of a season until this past weekend, which I don't think anyone saw this coming against, of all teams, the Blue Jays.
Well, everyone
So,
except me.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, but yeah, congrats to you. But
yeah. So thanks to some bad weather on Thursday, I got back on the White Sox opening day bandwagon on Friday.
Did you have tickets to Thursday, or you bought them for Friday?
I bought them on Thursday afternoon from Vivid Seats.
Yeah.
Section 512, third row, end seats for me and the kids and Robin, and got them for about $30 a ticket. The ticket prices were, when it got moved to Monday, like I probably would have been better off buying them on Thursday morning before the game was canceled, or sometime before the game was canceled, because people were probably trying to dump their tickets because of the rain.
Oh.
But it's because like the lower level seats, like the White Sox had the normal pricing, so that was expensive. But even the secondary market on those, they were all like in the hundos a seat. So anyway, got 512, row 3. Actually, a really good view. Haven't sat up there in a while.
Yeah, I never minded the upper deck.
No, especially behind home plate. It was funny. We ended up in the shade after the bottom of the first. So I know
what was your weather? I forgot what it was like on
60.
Friday.
It was 60 degrees and very warm if you were in the sun. So I know this is shocking news for everyone here, but there were a lot of seats available. And we just walked over to the other side, to the third base side of the upper deck, and grabbed row 8 in 548 and had sun the whole game. And it was a great time.
It's a veteran move right there.
It was a veteran move. We scoped it out. We said we're not gonna wait it out. The chances of anyone even sitting there by this point in the second inning, I'm like, they're not. That oddly enough, I should have taken a picture of it to send it to you. The outfield, the concourse, at one point, probably from the 3rd to the 7th inning, it was just a mass of bodies. You couldn't even walk.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy because there's so much sun in the outfield, as you know, and like everyone was just out there in the outfield. I don't know that they were like doing a hardcore check of tickets. Usually opening day is the only day now that they really do. Outside of that, there's only like 20-some thousand people at most showing up, so they kind of let you go wherever you want to go. But anyway, the Sox looked like they were gonna blow another lead. And the Blue Jays took a 4-3 lead in the top of the 10th on a throwing error. And oddly enough, they returned the favor in the bottom of the 10th, which led to 2 White Sox runs and a walk-off winner. And it was probably one of the best opening days I've been to that I can remember. Just because... One, didn't even plan on going. Got tickets at the last minute. We went. We were warm the entire game except for like a half an inning. The Sox came back and won. And then the biggest surprise of the day was all of a sudden on the video screen, they're in with Garfien and Ozzie.
Yeah.
And the audio's playing. And they announce live during the game and during the broadcast on TV that they are retiring on, I believe it's August 6th?
August 8th, I think.
August 8th, then, yeah. Ozzie's number 13, and he like broke down in tears.
Yeah, they totally surprised him. It was Scopo. Scott Pasednik made the announcement, and he was just, I don't even know if he knew. He like opened up an envelope that said what was happening. Ozzie was joking. I don't know if you saw this. He's like, oh, do I get another bobblehead? Is that what's happening? And then they announced it, and he's like burst into tears. I almost think he felt bad for joking about it because he was so honored by it. It was really cool.
And well, next thing you know, the whole park is chanting Ozzie.
That's awesome,
Ozzie, and it was a great moment. There was also
I didn't see it live. I saw the video. That video that they put on the video board is on social media, so I watched that afterwards. Chuck Garfien didn't know anything about it, or he says he didn't know anything about it. Everyone was just kind of blown away. Ozzie's family was there, so he's hugging them.
Yeah.
And it was just a really cool. I was like proud of the Sox for the first time. They didn't fuck something up in the first time in a long while.
Yeah, and then I got this. For those of you watching on YouTube, this is the opening day T-shirt I got. You got
nice
Murrow on it, Mydroth, Shane Smith, who could use some help right now, and Kyle Teal, who will be back shortly, and then Colson Montgomery. So, nice little opening day T-shirt. Has a weird, almost like NASCAR look to it, but I'm okay with it. Yeah,
that's kind of a 80s look almost.
Yeah, it's Feel the Momentum is this year's slogan.
Feel it.
Last thing I'll say about opening day is, I got to talk about a little food, but I was on the 500 level, so the 500 level does not have a lot of the new
I was wondering
treats
about that.
available, but I did have 2 Polish with, so how can you say I did anything?
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's a bold adventure.
Well, hey, it was a bold adventure for the toilet later, too. But, hey, everyone survived, and I'm a better man for it. It was a great day. Sox. I joked earlier. I did not see them sweeping the Blue Jays. In fact, I was going to be happy them walking out of that series probably with 1 win. Especially and then I'm going to the opening day and Cease's pitching, right? So I'm like, fuck. He had just struck out 12 in his opening game in 5 1/3. But the Sox something the Sox are doing, I think they're 4th in the league in pitches seen. Like they are, and that started last year, and they actually, this is what's happening. There is I'm going to get all joyful here. There is a coaching.
You're going to get?
Oh yeah, there's a actual plan here. There is, and they're telling them what pitches to seek out, and they are doing it. Like with Murakami, when you make it, his first 2 home runs were mistakes, and we have not seen in a while White Sox players who take advantage of pitchers' mistakes, and you cannot make a mistake with this guy. He's already been intentional walked twice, and he's a rookie in our league. But I mean, that's kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, you talk about reputation precedes you. A guy who's not seeing MLB pitching has been intentionally walked twice already. That's kind of wild.
Should we get into? Do you have more White Sox, or should we get right into?
No, I
Mooney
mean
versus McGonigle.
I mean, let's just say it. I said the White Sox were going to have a winning April. They currently do. I said the White Sox were going to win the AL Central. You said the Tigers made all these great moves, but what is the Tigers' record right now, Smitty?
Today it is 4-5.
What is the White Sox record right now, Smitty?
Today it is 4-5.
What is the Cubs' record right now? Who's going to win the NL Central?
Today it was 4-5, but it's presumed to be 4-6 because I think they were losing 6-3. So
there you go. So
congratulations on 9 games in the season.
That's right. I'm declaring victory. I'm declaring victory. This baseball season is over.
Well, you've already started your Mooney Murakami segment. I think that brings us perfectly into, I think, a segment we're going to have every week all year. Mooney versus McGonigle. As these are your White Sox Homer Rookie of the Year pick, Nostradamus prediction show preseason, and my Homer Rookie of the Year pick, Kevin McGonigle, going head to head, and they both made history already in the first week of baseball. So
that's right.
Kind of working perfectly. Murakami had home runs in each of his first 3 games to start his major league career. McGonigle had 4 hits in his debut with the Tigers.
Insane.
But the similarities don't end there. I gave you do you have that pulled up? All the stats we've got over here. I think we're just going to tabulate the how they rank in offensive categories. I've also got the WAR listed, which I mean, this early into the season, it's kind of hard to decipher, but it's impressive that positive WAR players already 9 games in the season, but
exactly
both are certainly making an impression. So I think this is going to be a worthwhile segment. It's perfect for us between a White Sox and a Tiger. So
yeah, I think one thing what we take away from both of these guys is they are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing for their teams.
Yeah.
And that is what's most important. Murakami was told, don't worry about your batting average, hit home runs for us. That's what we brought you here to do.
McGonigle's already leading
you're
off
like a
tonight.
You're like a 5. Is he considered 5-tool guy, or is he any good with stolen bases?
Power is probably the least of his abilities, but that's coming, and it will be coming as he's only 21 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's 5 tools.
Yeah. So here's where we'll go. So with hits, Mac has 10, Mooney 7.
You called him Mac.
Mick,
we got to talk about this too.
Yeah.
I've been talking to my Tigers friends. Like, we need a nickname for Kevin McGonigle. McGonigle is just a weird ass last name. It's actually a Simpsons character, kind of a spoof of Dirty Harry.
It's also a professor from Harry Potter.
Yeah. I've seen like Google AI for nicknames for Kevin McGonigle say he's known as the Methodical McGonigle.
Oh boy.
Just awful. Method Man, based on that, is another nickname. I'm not a big fan. So I don't know if there's a good Mac. Just makes sense, but anybody with a Mick in their last name could have that. So,
I mean, you have it written down as Mac G. I mean,
I just kind of made that just so it lined up with Mooney.
What's up, Jay?
Canopic and I came out, or at least I did, just in text chains back and forth. I'm just going to randomly call him Hacksaw. Kevin Hacksaw McGonigle. Like, I don't know why. I'm calling him Hacksaw from now on, just to see if it sticks somehow. See if it put that out in the internet, the webosphere. See if
Hacksaw, you said?
Hacksaw.
All right.
I don't know why. I like it though.
Yeah, I haven't really totally thought. Like, I was trying to think of something that didn't come off as racist for
Mooney.
For Mooney, other than Mooney.
Unfortunately,
because he does a lot of moonshots, but the racism has already been handled.
Yeah, I mean, your TV announcer handled I'm not sure if it's totally racist. It's just not great cultural appropriation.
He claims he asked him.
That's fine. Yeah, he was so excited in the broadcast to tell everyone and Gordon Beckham what his new nickname was, and he said he ran it by Murakami. But what's Murakami's gonna say when the TV guy comes up to you in a foreign language? Say, "Do you like this nickname?" And like, is he gonna tell him to fuck off? Like, probably just, I don't care. But the idea that John Schriffen came up with the South Side Samurai,
yeah,
so proud of it.
Yeah, he was.
Kind of ignoring some obvious cultural appropriation. Gordon Beckham's reaction was priceless. Oh, wow. I don't think he necessarily wanted to endorse it. He was definitely surprised by it, but it just leads to all sorts of things. I mean, you mentioned like the unfortunate t-shirts available outside of Wrigley back in the 2000s.
For Fukudome
and whatever other Japanese player they would have over time. But yeah, it led to some unfortunate things.
I think the one thing we can note here is the countdown clock on Schifrin is officially started, because the organization came out as
so they're
appalled, not a fan of the nickname. And this is kind of how things went down with your broadcaster.
Yeah, it was Jack Morris a couple years ago that kind of he forgot what he was talking about, but he came up, he said something in a fake Japanese accent, which was just Asian accent of sorts, and it just was lame. So yeah.
Oh no, I forgot about that. I was thinking of how you ended up with Benetti.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of something totally different. Yeah,
I forgot about the Jack. That Jack Morris thing is awful.
Yeah, we made him asshole of the week for that. I don't know if John Schriffen should be the asshole of the week necessarily.
Well, hey man, I ran it by Murakami. I gave him a couple of choices, and
do we dare to come up with our own nicknames that are less not necessarily offensive, but just a little more appropriate?
I mean,
Moonshot.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude, no. That's exact. I was just about to. I was like in the process of saying moonshot with you.
Well, I've heard that before. We didn't make it up.
I've made it up right now. I've never heard it.
I mean, this is not going to fly at all, but maybe, it's too culturally appropriate.
Inappropriate?
The Nippon bomber?
Yeah, no.
I mean, we're Japanese. I don't know. That's probably along the same lines as Southside Samurai. The Babe Ruth of the Rising Sun?
Calm down over there.
I don't think that'll work either.
I think moonshot is a good one for now.
What about the Southside Sadahara O? Okay,
Schifrin.
Well, Sadahara O is basically the Babe Ruth of the Japanese league. Actually, he has 100 more home runs than Babe Ruth ever had. So I don't know if that's racist. It's just
maybe
talking
not.
About it's just like people calling Schwarber Babe fucking Ruth. I don't know. Moonshot seems to be fine. Mooney's.
Mooney's fine.
Everybody already knows who you're talking about as soon as you say Mooney. So I think we could probably land on that.
We might workshop this a little bit. Might have a surprise for you next week. Might have a surprise for you next week. I'll put it into AI, see what they tell me.
Oh, yeah. That works out great for everybody.
It does. It always works out great. All right, let's continue on with the discussion.
So the segment, I guess, for now, we'll call it Mooney versus McGonigle.
Yeah. McGee! So it was 10 hits to 7 hits because I'm sure everyone forgot by now because we just went off on a rail for the last 10 minutes.
McGonigle with 10 hits?
10, yeah. Mooney was 7. Mooney
That's one of the only categories that McGonigle leads in, so I wanted to make sure that was pointed out.
Mooney was 7 runs. McGonigle with 5 rins in
yeah, sorry.
4 home runs to 0 for Mooney.
Yeah, Mooney's only had 1 home run in the last 6 games, so it's tough times for him.
You'd have an RBI though. Yes.
All right.
7 RBIs to 5 RBIs. Mooney to McGonigle. 955 OPS for Mooney. 865. Now, Mooney leads suddenly after McGonigle had jumped out to a big lead in strikeouts after the second game, but Mooney has 13 Ks and McGonigle only has 5. Is that accurate, or did you reverse that?
What are you talking about?
I think you reversed that.
I did not. Mooney's got 13 strikeouts.
He does?
Yes.
McGonigle only has 5 after he had 3 strikeouts in the second game of the season?
You are correct, sir. That's how he's got an OPS in the 860s. With no home runs.
That is fucking impressive.
All he does is hit and get on base.
Because Mooney has a shit ton of walks too. That's why his hits are like at 7.
I didn't break out the walks just because it's covered in OPS. But we can look that up if
so is hits. Ryan,
going forward,
if you want to be technical. Anyway, and then the WAR, Mac has a 0.5 and Mooney has a 0.2. But like you said,
obviously that's base running and defense. McGonigle's actually been really surprisingly solid on defense, continuing that through spring training. I'm a little surprised they're not closer in WAR, but it's so early to be calculating WAR. That's going to make more sense down the line.
I mean, honestly, like. Are we doing like a declaration for the week? Is that the plan here, or just keep an eye on it and discuss? Because I think they're both doing what they're supposed to be doing, like I said earlier. And I mean, I think we're just lucky to have 2 really great rookies right now. I mean,
yeah,
I think later on in the season we can start saying like who's got a better chance at Rookie of the Year and things like that.
I think it's almost like it's a meter. Like we're leaning one way or the other. So right now I think we need to lean more towards Mooney. Yeah, I would lead towards not drastically.
I would say like 51-49 or something like that.
I could go 55-45, but yeah.
Okay, 55-45, yeah. I'll
make a graphic for that.
Okay, thank God. So as McGonigle is doing very well for your Tigers, you can talk about some of the rest of the mediocrity of the Tigers at 4-5 right now.
Oh, you're going to allow me to talk about my Tigers finally?
Yeah, well, I'm tired of talking. I had
an hour into this fucking show.
I had to lead the fucking broadcast because my Brewers are world beaters, and then the Sox are red hot. So
we've established your thoughts on these things.
This margarita is delicious.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go back to recording in the mornings before you've been getting. Although I thought I accused you of drinking before our last show. That
Yeah,
was
because
happening
I
at
said
10
the
o'clock
Sox are
your
going to win
time.
the AL Central, and it looks like they are.
Oh, I'm not sure about that either. You are in second place, tied with everybody else. So
Not after tonight, after we beat the Orioles.
oh yeah, all right, keep drinking over there, Chirpy. So yeah, I like the McGonigle versus Mooney. I think it's going to be a good segment throughout. It's just perfect for us because obviously we're our allegiances, but it works out great for this podcast. And to have those two guys making historic marks already so early in the season, it's going to be fun to pay attention to. What hasn't been fun to pay attention to is the Tigers so far. They, as we've established, they have the 4-5 record. Opening weekend in San Diego is actually really encouraging as they start out 2-1. Of course, with the McGonigle breakout, McGonigle basically won the first two games. He had game-winning RBIs in both games. So beyond that, though, they got swept in Arizona, which is just a combination of starting pitchers not showing up, or if the starting pitcher showed up, the bullpen would blow it. Or if the starting pitcher showed up and the bullpen didn't blow it, the offense wouldn't show up. Just a combination of the worst scenarios. They righted the ship in Detroit this weekend against St. Louis, although they did lose Sunday night. They won the series. So they won 2 out of the 3 series they've been in, but they're only 4-5. So it's been a mixed bag. I think it's just kind of a wonky start to the season. I think hopefully things will even out. But one thing that is not great already is Justin Verlander, his triumphant return, was cut short already as he was supposed to debut in Comerica Park for the first time since 2017 on Sunday Night Baseball last night. Did not make that start. He's landed on the injury list for like left hip inflammation, which doesn't sound awful, and he definitely downplayed it. And it's like he could have. If this was late in the season or a critical series, he could have soldiered through it, I guess. But why risk it, especially when you're 43 years old? You don't want to create a larger issue. It's just kind of a bummer. I was fired up to see JV in Comerica Park, and did not happen. Back to I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but back to the San Diego series. They lost game 3 when their offense just did not show up. But in the first inning, they had runners on, I believe, second and third with 2 outs, and Spencer Torkelson came to the plate, and an egregious strike 3 call went against him, where it would have been a walk. It was a 3-2 count. It would have been a walk that would have extended the inning with the bases loaded. He did not challenge that call, which you are now allowed to challenge any call as long as your team hasn't lost 2 challenges earlier in the game. So we got to talk about the ABS system, which is the big revolutionary rule change of 2026, preceded by many other rule changes in the last few years that I think you and I have, and most are universally acclaiming. This seems to be equally as popular, if not more popular, than everything else that Major League Baseball has done with the rule changes. It's taken away complete totalitarian authority from the umpires. If they make a mistake, you can call them out on it. I think it's great. I think another part of it is the strategy of how to use when and where to use your challenges. And that's, I think, it really cost the Tigers in that game 3 in San Diego when Torkelson did not challenge it. And I think the teams are kind of learning, since that was only the 3rd game of the season, I think they're learning from that and challenging it at leverage moments whenever they happen to be, because that ended up being the best scoring chance for the Tigers the whole game. It just happened to come in the first inning. So I don't think you'll see that anymore, but I thought it was interesting to bring that up, the kind of illustrative of how the strategy is involved in that. I think we're going to see more when we get it deeper into the season, boy, in the playoffs, how that's going to play out, when you use a challenge and when you don't. That's going to be fascinating.
Yeah, I feel like I totally agree with you. I feel like Torkelson was probably like, oh, it's the first inning, right? I don't want to.
You could tell the look on his face. He was like, he knew it was not a strike, but he didn't tap his helmet soon enough. I think he was just hesitant just early in the season, but I think that's going away quickly.
Yeah,
People are figuring it out.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it's such a learning process that like teams are going to be like, if you're very certain, like, you know, the Tigers may have said we really don't want to use any batter challenges.
I wondered about that. It was brought up after the game, and McGonigle and AJ Hinch both said there were no restrictions. He just didn't do it.
Okay. Okay.
And I thought the same thing too. I'm like, oh, there's a team edict, like we don't waste challenges in the first.
Yeah, no, and I could see that. To me, that's not a terrible strategy because, especially, I mean, all kidding aside about my comments about the Tigers, their offense should be fine, right? So, like, are you going to waste one in the first inning and have it go against you, and then in a later inning where you may need it, you don't have it to use?
Yeah,
I think see that being a strategy, but I feel
like
they're
realizing having 2 challenges available, even if you lose that one early, you still have a critical one. And if you keep getting it right, which
I can he would have
55% of all challenges have been considered correct by the players. So that's playing out in real time. I don't think we'll ever see that again. I think now that we're getting data on all this, like it's anytime you're in a leverage situation and a call goes against you, the players are empowered to be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. But that so far data, I've liked it so far.
Yeah. I think everybody loves it because it's, nobody likes the umpire.
It's quick.
Well, that's the best part of it. It takes maybe 3 seconds and you get a visual, you get a graphic to show you exactly what happened. There's no bullshit back and forth. It's great. If it took some time, I think that would be an issue that people would just have to get used to. But it doesn't even take any time. 3 seconds is not a big deal. I'm getting a lot of these stats from a really cool website called taptochallenge.com.
All right. This is new to me. I've not heard of this.
I heard about it in The Athletic, and then I check it out like every couple of days. It's a really simple website, but it's basically just a database tabulating all the stats from challenges. And so far there have been 542 challenges. 298 have been overturned, or gone the player's way. So that's a 55% challenge win rate, which isn't bad. It's weird. I was following it the whole opening weekend, then I checked it out today again. It was like in the 53%. Crept up to 54% in the middle of the week. And now it's up to 55%. So I think the players are getting a better idea of what to challenge and when. So I check out that site. It's a really simple interface, and you can just check out whatever you want. But the up in the top right corner is the total number of challenges and the percentage of the win rate. I did a little math on my own, just guessing. We're 9 games into the season. There's usually 15 games a day. Basically there's been, I divided all that up. If there's 542 challenges, there's basically 4 challenges per game.
Yeah.
So that means, if it takes 3 seconds per challenge, we're losing 12 seconds per game on challenges. I'm getting the call right. So I think
I just can't.
I think we can deal with that.
I just can't.
Someone that might not be able to deal with it is CB Buckner.
Well,
had himself an opening weekend.
Yeah, you told me about this right before we started recording. And
I'm surprised you didn't know about this.
I somehow missed this, but it was spring break with the kids and stuff, and stuff was going on. I was running around and stuff's busy. But anyway, I've never been a fan of CB Buckner. I think he's a horrible home plate umpire. He's only behind the retired Angel Hernandez in home plate umpiring. He might actually be right next to him, but go ahead and share the news.
Buckner had a day. he had a game where he was challenged 8 times and lost 6 of those challenges, including one in the same at bat for Eugenio Suarez, who had to challenge not 1 but 2 strike 3 calls that were bogus, and ended up getting a walk
insane.
out of it.
That is
2 in a
fucking
row.
insane. That's fucking insane. Like that you're so bad.
Yeah.
That you ring someone up twice. We've seen him ring people up egregiously all of last year. Like he's on.
He's been like this he's well known as the worst home plate umpire, and now we have empirical data, and he's got empirical data thrown in his face in real time.
Yeah.
I think it's a personality thing. I almost think that second strike call was just out of spite. Oh yeah, you call me out on one, see if you call me out again. And he did, and he won both. Suarez won both the challenges. So I think the umpires are getting a little comeuppance, learning a little humility. I have not heard Buckner come up nearly as much since the opening weekend, so I think maybe he's figuring it out that he can't be as bad at his job and be spiteful about it when he's called out on it. So I think it's great. The only people I've ever heard complain about it are retired umpires so far. Talking about how hard their job, how much harder their jobs are going to be. Nobody cares, dude. Yeah. So
all we've ever wanted, obviously, when a bad call goes your way, you'll take it. Let's be honest. Like when, imagine if the ABS was in existence when the Braves won the World Series. They may have not won the World Series over the Indians at the time because Maddox and Glavine. Oh yeah, I just remember they were getting calls about 3 inches off the outside corner.
That's what they're most famous for, especially because if the ump would give them an inch out on the outside of the plate, they'd take 2.
They hammered it.
2, they'd take 3.
They would just hammer the area because back then it was just if you threw the pitch consistently in the same spot, you got the call.
Yeah. Well, we're done with that era.
Yeah, we are done with that era. I'm happy. I think it really evens the playing field out for everybody.
I'm worried about unintended consequences down the road, like how it's going to play out in the playoffs. Like if somebody's already used 2 of their challenges and they have a third that was egregious that cost a game 7 or. Who knows? I mean, that's a worst case scenario, but
do you think teams might do a mandate though in the playoffs where like you don't challenge in the first 3 innings or something?
That's another reason this is fascinating because maybe the strategy changes completely after we've gone through 162 games. Maybe we've learned enough where you only do these things, or you like you're saying, you do things a little bit differently in the biggest games versus game in the middle of the season. Maybe you have a different strategy. I don't know. Maybe you don't. Maybe the math is the math, but.
It's interesting. It's almost like a timeout in a basketball game, right? Because timeouts, are such as we see in the NCAA tournament we've all been watching. Like, it's such
we starting up here in a couple minutes. If we end this podcast.
We're gonna have to. We'll get there soon. You just gotta talk about Cubs injuries. It's a dismal scene over there. You don't want to stand there too long, but it's like a momentum shift, right? So like. This is a momentum shift, especially like the two ring ups that ended up being walks. What a fucking letdown for a team. Like this, I'm ringing you up. You think you're walking off the field. The next thing you know, the guy's at first base and you got to go out and finish the inning. Like that's like, it can be mentally disturbing to a player. Yeah. So I love it. I fucking love it. I'm a huge fan of it. I support it 100%, even though ABS also stands for anti-braking system in a car. It can be confusing sometimes.
Yeah, I Google that quickly and you get the wrong results, but I think it's catching on. People figure it out.
Anal butt symptoms?
Whoa. I don't know what's going on with your Google searches, but might be a little TMI. Well, that does bring us finally to the Cubs, who I don't know if they've lost. Have they lost yet? It was 6-3 last time.
Yeah, they lost 6-4. I saw it.
So they are now 4-6 on the season. They are officially in last place in the enemy of my enemy standings by a half a game over everyone else that's in second.
They trail the Brewers by 3.5 now?
It would be 3.5. Yes, correct.
Well, before after tonight, but
before after tonight?
After tonight, it'll be 4.
Thank you. Cubs have had a weird opening to the season. They got blown out on opening day by a very mediocre team, the Washington Nationals. Matthew Boyd was terrible. The aforementioned Matthew Boyd was really good in his second start, but now he just landed on the IL as of an hour before we started this podcast. He had like a left bicep strain. That's another one where they didn't sound too concerned that's like something he could have gotten through if it was late in the season or if they really had to have him. He could have powered through, but he doesn't want to create a larger issue down the road. It would have made more sense to me if he had a good opening day and then his second start was shitty. And now he goes in the IL, but he was so much better in his second start. So I'm kind of surprised. I don't think anyone saw this coming.
I did.
What's really frightening, yeah, thanks. What's really frightening is the injury to Cade Horton. And that was another one that's kind of out of the blue. 17 pitches into his start in Cleveland, he pulled himself out of the game basically. They said it started in his wrist. He had some kind of issue with his wrist, and it led to a forearm strain, forearm tightness.
We know what that means.
Every time, I fucking swear, every time you hear forearm tightness, it's Tommy John.
Yeah, you and I have had this discussion, and it's happened every time we've had it. We said that's going to end up being Tommy John, and it was for all those White Sox players last year.
Yeah. It's like as soon as you hear anything with a forearm, oh, Tommy John. What's the other part that's ominous about that is they immediately put him on the IL. He had his MRI like today, but he was on the IL yesterday. Like they didn't even bother. It was like he's out. So I have not heard. The news may have come out this afternoon. I missed it. It may have come out during the game tonight, and I missed it because we are recording. But it's scary what's happened with the way it's happened with Horton, and it's just such a bummer because he's been so fucking good. But I think you have to ask the question: is he just going to be injury prone? He has spent so much time in the IL. He missed the end of last season with like a freak fractured rib that really cost him. I would say it cost him the series against the Brewers. If he was available, I think that series could have easily gone the Cubs' way. He's had Tommy John surgery already. He had it back in 2021. I think it was when he was in college. He had one other, I think he had a shoulder strain at the beginning of last season that he eventually recovered from. So he's had multiple injuries in the short time he's been in the majors, and this could be the worst one yet. So it's just an awful start for the Cubs. Really, the Washington series was just hard to take that they lost the series to Washington. They looked better. The offense is inconsistent. Pitching has been inconsistent. Shohei Ohtani's not actually been bad, and he's going to need to continue to be pretty fucking good for the rotation to hold out. We talked before the season, at least the strength of the Cubs would be the depth of the rotation. Well, they were putting that to the test already this early in the season, having two starters go down. Colin Reyes moved into the rotation. I think they just called up Javier Assad from AAA. So they've got backups, but I mean, you're already losing two pitchers 9 games in the season. That is a harbinger of bad things. So we'll see how that plays out. But I guess go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. There's no news on Horton. Craig Counsell was asked before the game, and he said it's going to take a few days to get all medical opinions back.
Wow. A few days. I think
all medical opinions.
I mean, doesn't that make you feel like they're debating surgery already? I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of delays and, non-information. Just nothing.
We know how that always goes.
Yeah.
For all of our teams.
Well, I guess I want to end the show on a bit of a positive note. I guess very positive for Nico Horner, as he signed a 6-year, $141 million extension with the Cubs.
Wow.
It is unprecedented almost, like, for the Cubs to extend somebody like that. But for a guy that has no power, it is really it's a really fascinating, because they are rewarding an all-around player. They're their best defensive player, or amongst their best defensive players, their best base runner. He's a great hitter, but he's not a power hitter by any means. So it's kind of a fascinating thing. Mostly we've seen over the recent years, power is rewarded with massive contracts, and I feel like this is like the first real defensive forward type of big deal. I think it makes sense to me. It's the Ricketts money. I don't begrudge them that. They've got more to spend, and that's something I've beaten down Tom Ricketts and the family and the ownership, and how Jed Hoyer has chosen to spend whatever monies they have. you can't call them cheap anymore, as I did for the previous 5 years. If you look at it, they've signed in the 3 signings they've done this offseason into this season. They've spent $500 million on 3 players with Bregman, PCA, and now Nico Horner. So they're throwing their cash around. Whether it was the right decision or not, we'll find out. You and I debated a bit on PCA last week. I don't feel like you have the same negative feelings or negative thoughts about Nico's signing. It doesn't have nearly the risk that PCA's necessarily has. So I don't know if you had any thoughts about it.
Well, I would say like on the surface, like, you know, we've talked about like signing Bregman, but then not signing Tucker. You've
trading for Tucker, not signing Bellinger.
Yeah, not signing Bellinger and Tucker, or not signing Tucker and then adding Bregman. You're just kind of like just rotating players in and out, right? But what we've heard from the Cubs brass that it's about intelligent spending.
Yes,
and I would say on the surface right now, again, we don't know how anything's going to work out, but I would give them this is intelligent spending because they've maximized their dollars by getting 3 solid players and we can only talk about what they've done so far. We can't talk about what may or may not happen. So if you just go by what we've seen over the last seasons and Bregman's career, you got 3 players for probably what you would have had to pay for 1 or 1.5. So to me, that is intelligent spending. If it works out, we don't know, but
PCA as you pointed out is the real wild card in all that, because we had one incredible first half of last year and one terrible second half of last year to go on, where Bregman obviously has a long track record. Nico's been in the league for 4 full seasons.
Yeah.
And he's averaging 5 WAR per season.
Yeah. I mean there's
50, 60 steals a year. You know, the power numbers aren't there, but everything else is. Clearly he's an all-star, Gold Glove winner. He's established himself.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, he's been the Cubs' best player for the last couple of years. So,
and this is a guy we talked about. We thought he wasn't even going to be on the Cubs this year. Remember, at one point he was being traded.
There's a lot of rumors out there that he would be traded because he is going into his free agent season.
Yeah,
and Cubs took care of that. So
I mean, it doesn't hurt to sign a fan favorite when he's also an awesome player, not just a fan favorite. You know what I mean? And yeah. I would call this intelligent spending right now. You're getting 3 for what maybe you would have gotten you got 3 for what you would have gotten for 1 time. And to me, you have to feel, you have to field the team, not a player. So,
right.
Again, could they afford to sign Kyle Tucker and all 3 of those guys? Sure they could.
Yeah. I think they could have.
We know they could have, but you know what? Every team's different and every team's working within, well, not every team, but certain teams are working within budgets that they've declared, and that's their prerogative. So, I have nothing negative to say about this. I mean, yeah.
Well, let's cut this off right now.
Yeah, we should cut it off. I mean, I'm in a great mood. Sox are going to get their 4th win in a row tonight. Okay. You heard it here.
Had plenty of your prognostications. Spent weeks doing this shit.
Well, I mean,
nobody wants to hear it, let alone me. I'm probably the only one that ever hears this. So I'm done with it.
I'm just saying the Tigers and Sox have the same record right now. I mean, come on.
Congratulations.
And the Cubs.
No, Cubs are in last now.
A lot of money spent on both of those teams.
With that, we will wrap up this episode 183 of Enemy of My Enemy. Of course, unless there's any shit Pete forgot, other than babbling.
I forgot nothing except to say that the Brewers will be 8-2 after tonight, and the Cubs will be.
Why did I open the door for
4 games out of
someone
first.
Cut off his mic over there. Jesus Christ! You can catch every episode of Enemy of My Enemy at enemyball.com. You can find us on social media at EnemyBall. You can find this podcast anywhere you'd like to find a podcast. You can find our YouTube channel at youtube.com/EnemyBall. And with that, I'm going to declare this podcast is over. Peace.
Post-game show is brought to you by
Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it.
One guy poured beer all over my head. The guy said, how can you take that? I said, look, that man didn't do nothing. He poured some beer on my head. He's just showing he's a White Sox fan. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Sparky, a million thanks for, as always, the most interesting interview. And now today, let's just have a lot of thrilling baseball and not so many fisticuffs.
We're at home